was in Chicago, and there were these huge protests outside of the NATO summit, thousands of people in the streets, and the cops had long-range acoustic devices, which are like these giant window fans that make people shit themselves and throw up all over the place, and they had tear gas, and they had big, batons, and it got to a point when hundreds of cops, and I literally mean hundreds of cops, and thousands if you count how many were all over the place, they start marching toward the protesters, and they're announcing, everyone get out of the way. If you don't want this, if you don't want it, get out of the way. And, the protesters, all shapes and sizes, masks pulled over their faces, are walking tight toward the line, And at this point, this is when, all of your television, your NBC, MSNBC, Fox News, you name it, your local reporters, they're all on rooftops now, okay? And they have full security teams watching them and making sure that they don't get assaulted, And this is what separates them from me. And it's craziness downtown. Tourists are trying to get out of the city, and it's mayhem. And I get a call from Esquire, and I'm already writing stories for a couple of other publications. And Esquire's like, "What do you got?" And I'm like, "I don't really have anything for you guys." They're like, "What's up with Dan?" And I'm like, "Well, Dan is stuck at a girl's house. He had a one-night stand last night, and his phone's about to die. But I told him it would be a pretty good, he should write about it."
Yeah.
And the editor, Joe Cohen, is like, "Yo, tell Dan to get in touch with me immediately."
Right.
But I don't even think he knew what they were about to get into.
Not at all, because when it happened, and on the record, if it wasn't for Chris suggesting that, I was still in a fog of hangover the next morning. Then all of a sudden, I get a little juice from my phone. Emails start going off, everything else. And I've got the Joe from Esquire saying, "Ferrone said, gave me the skinny on what's going on with you. Can you get me a piece, now?" And I was in this girl's place. I didn't have any of my stuff with me. I'm like, "I guess so."